What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Comment Writers. We are a Kamen Rider review podcast, and today on the show, we're going to talk about Kamen Rider Zeztz episode number 40. I'm your host, Josh Meek, the Uber Geek, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Toby Tobes. How's it going, Toby?
Josh, last week I set myself up for the most anxiety-ridden adventure I've ever gone on.
If you were me, it would be like, I'm getting my hair cut, and then I'm riding on a crowded elevator. Let's go.
So last week I decided to test out Korean barbecue for the first time.
Oh, okay. I love Korean barbecue.
Okay, so it always sounded awesome to me. I was like, well, you get to play with fancy soup, and there's a grill on your table. You can do whatever you want to. I was debating ordering tripe and then doing the dissertation from my favorite game, Yakuza, where they talk about tripe's only good if you burn the shit out of it. And it's like the personality of a human, where you gotta char yourself up to have the best flavor. And like an hour before I went to KITH, which has both the soup or like the cook yourself in the broth plus the grill thing. Like an hour before I went, my anxiety started going insane in the pit of my stomach. And I'm like, I'm going to go there. And I'm going to have no idea what to actually do. Like the core concept in my brain is you throw food on the grill. It's like buffet style, all you can eat, whatever. I was like, in my brain, this core concept checks out to me. But in practice, I have to go talk to people, explain what I want to do, and hope I don't sound stupid ordering. And I think like the hour and a half that it took me from when the started processing until it sat at the table to K-Pot, literally like my anxiety kept getting higher and higher. And I kept like, I was all like giddy and giggling because I didn't know what to do with my nervous energy.
I feel you.
So it was a wild trip getting there. And then when I got there, I don't know if I did, it's highly possible I did something wrong somehow, but I went and like, it wasn't what I hoped it was going to be, or like I sketched myself out in my head so bad of I didn't cook the food long enough that the whole time I was like, am I just actively giving myself food poisoning or like a foodborne bacteria while I sit here? And then I would want to eat more food and I would stare at the food and just get this like pit of dread of like, I don't really want more food though. I don't think like, I don't know what I'm doing. And it was kind of crazy. So it was actually like the wildest meal I've ever had since the great meal when I said, let's get crazy and ate a whole fish. Like this was actually more stressful than the day I said, let's eat a whole fucking fish and had a 30-minute conversation with the waiter who thought I was insane.
I mean, like, yeah, I think my approach to this type of thing, it would make me slightly nervous, but I'd not the worst. Like my anxiety definitely lies in slightly different places, because I think I would be very open to being like, hey, it's my first time here, like I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
Can you please explain?
and no one cares. Like one of the first questions out of the waitresses or servers or whoever's mouth was like, have you ever been here before? Do you know what to do? Here are the steps of what you would need to do.
Yeah.
And they even have like a clip art picture taped to the wall in every seating booth of like, here's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5 for like, this is if you're grilling, this is if you're hot potting. By the way, here's the cook times for everything you'll possibly put on this table, just so you don't fuck it up.
That's nice.
It was all perfectly set up for me not knowing what I was doing. And like, I did the soup first and I was like, oh, I'll throw some shrimp in here. This seems fun. So I threw the shrimp in for a couple minutes. I doubled my noodles and veggies back to myself, had the shrimp ready. And I was looking at it and I was like, I know what cooked shrimp looks like. This looks cooked. So I ate the first one and I was like, why was there like a crunch to this? And then I was like, well, maybe I missed part of the shell. There's sand, it's seafood, whatever. And I was kind of fine with it. And then like I ate the second one, which cooked a little bit longer. And I was like, this just doesn't taste right to me. And I thought about it more and more as I kept eating them. There's only 3. No big deal. Got through it. And then when I started playing with the grill and cooking food, like in my brain, I'm like, okay, it says 3 minutes aside. I've cooked all sorts of fish and seafood on the grill before. I know how to do this. So I cook both sides and I look at it and I'm like, I feel like this middle's still raw. So I like assess it. I kind of like poke it, stab it. I'm like, no, it's probably okay though. Like it's cooking, it's cooked. It's starting to char. Like I get this. And then I like kind of like pried it open and it still looked raw inside. And I was like, but I think it's cooked. Like, I don't know. And then I ate more. And then, but like every time I would eat something, the entire time was like, I feel like I'm just actively poisoning myself. Like I'm sure the food is fine. And I was like, well, it's like 6 o'clock at this point. And all I said in my brain was, well, tomorrow night by 6 o'clock, I'll know if I fucked up or not.
Yeah, I would be in the same boat as you of like I think I wouldn't think about it initially, but the first time that I like got a hint that I didn't do it right or that it was raw and I needed to cook it more and it didn't line up with like the time they had listed or whatever, I would instantly be in my self-doubt. I can't do this right. Everything's going wrong. Like I clearly would like ruin the rest of the meal for myself at that point for sure.
Yeah, it's basically what I did. Like it was a fun experience, and I would go again. But in my brain, like it was like literally, like I don't know if there's like a good TV show, movie clip, whatever to like correlate this to. But I literally like eat a piece of food and just like have more of a sense of dread wash over me after every bite. Even though I was having fun, I was like, I just feel like I'm poisoning myself every piece of food I eat.
Yeah, I think I'm making mistakes, but here we are. Yeah, yeah, that's a little stressful for sure. In a similar fashion, um I've never done like the fondue places. Like there's like the like
But yeah, we have like melting
melting
pot here and
pot,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, like that sort of thing. So there is a melting pot kind of close to us. And like people sometimes around here will go for like special occasions and stuff. And I've never done it for the same reason that like I don't know, it kind of seems stressful. It just feels a little bit like not knowing what to do and all that stuff. So I get that for sure. I'm sure they would explain it just fine. But like, yeah, I get the like not having done something and then having the anxiety about how it all works and how to do it. I will say the thing that helps me through that, so just to put it out there for anyone else, uh, think about how dumb the average person is, and then realize that half the people in the world are dumber than that, even because that's how averages work. And then those people can go to Korean barbecue or can go to the fondue place. You for sure fucking can, right? Like, think about how dumb the average person is, and if they can like tie their shoes and make it through the day, you're golden. Like,
I feel like I was both sides of the bell curve in this experiment, but not the middle of the bell curve. Like entirely too smart and made the food entirely too stupid.
here's a weird like view into my psyche, I guess. So like I'm pretty okay with the being brand new at a restaurant experience and then presenting that, right? Like, hey, I'm brand new, teach me how to do this. But it's weirder for me when like one person in the group is brand new, but the rest aren't. So then you have to do the weird dance of just like, well, we've been here, but they haven't been here, so they need to explain, but we don't. And that part is stressful to me more than just the we're all brand new thing.
Yeah, like especially when they ask the question to the group of like who's been here before. I feel like if you're in the affirmative and you know other people are going to be in the negative, I
Yep.
feel like it's almost your job to not say shit and not be like, "Oh, I've been here before." Like because instinct for me just feels like I'm supposed to like be honest and I just speak up right away without thinking, as you're
Yeah.
not supposed to do. But like instinct, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I've been here before," but like they've never been here, and I don't know. Like I'm sure I put some sort of like sass or toot on it of like I'm on my fucking moral barbecue high horse of, "Oh, I've been here. I know what I'm doing." So
Well, I think
yeah.
that's the problem is like there isn't a defined standard for like a lot of interactions that we have day to day. There's a way they play out, right? You know who talks first, you know what you're supposed to say, you know how it goes. That particular one, there's no rules about like who speaks up, whose job it is. So there's always that moment where you look around the table and you have that unspoken debate about who gets to be in charge here. And I think that's the core that you just hit on. That's the part that stresses me out.
Yeah, because everyone looks. Because like you as the knower looks at the people that don't know, and you're like, I'm looking at you because I expect you to say, I don't know what the hell's going on. Please help me. And then
Yep.
like the other side gives you the puppy dog eyes of like, well, I don't want to embarrass myself and say I've never been here, so I expect you to
Yeah.
help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it could go either way, right? You could be like why'd you bring that up? Like I could figure it out on my own. Versus like I wish you would have said something. I don't know how this works. So you never know how it's gonna shake out.
But I think after my first run, I'm still tentative on a second run. But I think after my first run, my go-to idea is I'm gonna do everything at once. Like I basically like made soup and ate the soup or the broth or whatever. And then I was like, now I'm gonna play with the grill. And then I was hungry because my stomach was going. And I think I probably didn't let things cook enough on the grill because I was in a rush. So I think next time, if I try this again, I'm gonna dump everything on the grill first then fuck with the soup, and then just try to eat like a little bit of everything as I go and keep it more
Yeah.
dynamic, and not stare at the fish and be like, well, it's been like 3 minutes on this side, but like it says 5 aside, but I'm hungry. I'm pretty sure this is cooked. I'm just gonna fucking eat it, kind of deal.
Yeah. I think that sounds like a good plan. Cooking things until they're done sounds like a good improvement to your experience.
Yeah, that's probably the key. Cooking your food. I think I'm gonna stick to my Chinese buffets and my all-you-can-eat sushi, but all my all-you-can-eat sushi adventures, because that's just handled for me. I just slop it in like the piggy I am.
Yep. I went to there's a place near me that I went to for Father's Day that used to be one of those like conveyor belt, you pay for what you get type of sushi places.
Yeah.
And they converted it into an all you can eat sushi place now. So things still come around on the conveyor belt, but you just pay one flat sum and you just get whatever you want. And that is vastly superior, of course. Like you get to eat way more sushi for way cheaper. But we went for Father's Day this weekend, and weirdly, like everything that was coming around was salmon based. And it's like every single thing had salmon on it. And it's like, I don't mind salmon. Like I can do it. But like, I'm not really, that's not what I'm looking for necessarily in sushi. And literally it was like across the board. Everything was just a sea of sushi.
It was
a sea of salmon.
Yeah. It's like the cheap house special, or like we can get the most of this for the cheapest amount for everyone's going to be here running it extra busy.
That's what it felt like. Yeah, it felt like I was getting scammed on or something. Because you can still like order like the custom order where they like drive the train to your table. You could still order anything there, but like the stuff that was just easily grabbable, it was clearly like we got a bulk discount on some salmon. Here we go. Yeah, because the really good stuff's never going around on the conveyor. You know what I mean? Like
no. They're doing like avocado cucumber only rolls, like the cheapest veggie rolls possible. Just shovel this all in. We don't care. It's cheap.
Yep, for sure. But it looks cool. It's always the stuff that like it's bright and colorful. So like takes good pictures when you're posting it on Instagram, I guess, or whatever. But it's not the one that the real eaters want, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, all you can eat sushi is where it's at. If you haven't done that out there, it's a wonderful way to like try sushi out for the first time too, because you get to sample a bunch of different stuff and see what you like. Toby, speaking of seeing what we like, let's see if we like Kamen Rider Zeztz episode number 40, shall we?
Let's see if we like it.
Let's see if we can sukuru, which is to create a good review. That's the Japanese name of this episode, which they translated as generate on the YouTube English version.
They dumbed it down for us.
Yep, exactly. So last time around in episode 39, the Punish Gore Nightmare, or Punny, as Sieg calls it, was cast out of Sieg. And we pick up kind of from there this time around. Sieg is quite literally sulking under the stairs about the fact that that the Punish Gore Nightmare has left him behind. And to kind of rearrange a couple of scenes and merge things together just to make it easier to talk about, in Sieg talking throughout this episode in the command center, we find out that nightmares have been around, in the human mind for a long time. I guess specifically these Gore nightmares. And the Punish Gore has been around, as Sieg describes it, since God created man. So, God is real.
This is quite the legendary story. This is creation itself.
Exactly. And the conjoining of the dream world, so everyone's dreams now being one continuous space, has increased the power and the reach of all of the nightmares. So now, instead of just tormenting the one person that they live in their psyche for, they can now torture the whole world, which is exactly what we see the Punish Gore Nightmare doing throughout this episode, last episode, and so on, is trying to basically just punish everyone they can, judge everyone they can, and our friend, the other small-time thief brother, is the victim this time around.
He also deserves to be punished and or hoisted on our shoulders, because he is one half of the greatest legendary small to big time crooks we've ever seen.
This really is, these last 2 episodes, just a real tragedy for this family.
Like this week's guy specifically, I feel like he has like 2 layers of loss or 3 layers of loss, more so than the random one last week.
Yeah, absolutely. He, especially like, so we get to follow him throughout this episode. Of course, his brother turned into the nightmare last time around, and this time around he is slowly turning into the nightmare. And I thought that his like stopping in the middle of his car heist to ask Baku if he had a dream was like a really cool scene. Like a little bit of the humanity comes out before he goes like full nightmare.
I thought it was fantastic if you asked him if he had a dream, just to get his dream, just to be like, well, then you're my enemy. I'm going to shoot you.
Yep. And then it just pops a cap. Yeah. Baku, of course, gets shot in the real world here, which is interesting.
He gets shot a lot. He's definitely gotten shot
does.
a lot this year, season,
Yeah,
year, whatever.
It always seems like the climax is always like, someone's got a gun on Baku. What are we going to do?
I
And
will
more
say
often
that,
than not, he gets shot. Yeah.
Yep. And at this point, like, not that it really matters, because I mean, obviously he is the main hero, but when he got shot today, I thought zero of it. I was like, this absolutely does not matter in any way, shape, or form. This is going to make no difference in this story. Like, sure, he got shot. That's cool, whatever. And it was fixed faster than usual, I feel like.
It was fixed in a way. So yeah, so interestingly, he gets shot in the real world and he falls into the dream world. Fully clothed in his secret agent outfit, but still bloody from having gotten shot. And Nem patches him up in the command closet. And really him getting shot was like just an excuse to let Nem monologue about how people can change. More or less, right? Like there were no stakes really in him getting shot. She just needed to be able to talk to Sieg for a while she was doing an activity.
Not even that. I want to know how Nem became such a professional surgeon when it's not specifically a dream where she gets cast, because she removed the bullet from the bullet hole with forceps while she was monologuing, like a true ER professional from a TV show and everything. But usually they at least set up Nem as like, hey, this week she's a Final Fantasy character. This week she's a pro chef. This week she's this. And this time was just Nem who had a scalpel and forceps and just ripped the bullet out of their hero.
Yeah, I guess she's got some hobbies too. I don't know. When she's not cast in a role, maybe she's watching survivalist YouTube videos and learning how to fashion tourniquets.
I guess that works, but like that part specifically, like obviously fun, silly TV show, like you said, we got the monologue, we got a whole thing out of it. But that part specifically was like bonus crazy to me, of like, we're just letting her do surgery and we're not even gonna like talk about this really. Like, this is nuts.
Not only is she just doing surgery really very calmly, without any question, without any issue, she's talking at the same time, so she's not even giving it her full attention. She's like, yeah, she's apparently a real badass here. I liked her point about, she's kind of had this opinion about people can change the whole season, the whole series, and that's core to her character, right? She needs people to be able to change because she was birthed from nightmares and she needs to not be a nightmare, right?
She's basically like, she's looking in the rest of the world for a confirmation of, I can do this too, or at some point in my life I don't have to be the nightmare I was born as, kind of deal.
Yeah. So that's cool and poetic. I like that she has this resolve, but it like kind of really comes from like you said, the need for the reassurance of her own state. But I liked specifically how she worded it basically as anyone being gone doesn't make the world better. Like the world's not a better place for someone not being in it. Which is an interesting stance, right? Because I don't think most people, I don't know that everyone would agree with that, right? Some people would definitely agree the world is better without certain bad people in it. So like that is really the ultimate turned up to 11 version of Nem's viewpoint. I thought that was cool. Yeah. Especially because she's there, talking to Sieg, who is kind of like a Carnage-esque monster.
Her polar opposite of sorts.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, she pulls the bullet out, and of course these are big honking nightmare bullets, like huge things too that she gets out. So an expert surgeon is Nem. We'll cut over here. So we get to see a little bit of code as well, and we get to see what's going on over at Code headquarters.
We got to see the board of directors, which was a wild thing I didn't really think was going to be a thing, but that does give us a good plot point when there's a whole 12-person roundtable debating what should or should not be done in this situation.
Yeah, because we'd talked before about like we'd speculated about Code's organizational hierarchy, like who was in charge and if there was anybody above, Zero, etc. And yeah, we find that out this episode. There's, like you said, a whole kind of board of directors, a big group of people, and they're all sitting around reading the report on kind of Code Somnia and what 3 did, looking very upset with what they're hearing. Because Zero is basically saying Code Somnia went too far. We need to shut it down. Like we need to not do what we've been doing. So all the board of directors, are basically like, well, you caused this. Like, this is your fault. You designed Code Somnia. And Zero says, and I'm ready to accept my punishment. Like whatever. Which makes them even more angry. One of them says, do you think Code just shouldn't exist? Like, Code is here to keep the order. It sounds like you want Code to just be non-existent. And Zero says we should leave it to the next generation, which I really like.
At which point, like, everyone does the weird, what I can only call like the zombie neck crack, or like when people are super jacked in movies and like they get their ass beat, and to show they took no damage, they kind of like pop their head to the side and just kind of like shake off everything immediately. And like after he says the next generation, everyone does the zombie head pops and they're ready to fight.
Yeah, every single member of the board pulls a gun on him, which is a crazy visual. I liked it a lot. And Zero says, commit no more sins, uses a booster capsum, and runs around the room, basically killing all of them before they can shoot him.
So now, once again, in our questions of what does the Code branches look like, or the hierarchy of needs and wants and people here, Code effectively has no one again, or at least no one that we know of now that we've erased 12 board members. So
yep.
I guess we don't have to worry about this again for the time being.
Yeah, this feels very much like the end of Code. Like, it feels like effectively this is Zero wiping out Code all by himself. Because I wouldn't really think there's like another round of like C-suite people above all these 12 people.
Yeah.
So they're gone. It's only Zero left. He basically thinks Code should shut down. I don't really think there's much left of Code after this episode.
I do think it's funny that, again, it's one of those crazy things that it's a huge plot point wrapped up in all of 30 seconds. This time with a lot of murder and stuff, but it was basically like, hey, just so you know, there were more Code people. I know, we know you're all wondering about this, and now that you know that there were more people, they're all gone anyway, so don't think about it ever again.
Exactly. I find it very interesting from like a plot standpoint that we have the Punish Nightmare running around, like punishing objectively bad people, right? Like criminals and stuff. And then like Zero's doing the exact same thing here. Essentially. He's killing a whole room full of people who are bad people. It's an interesting juxtaposition in this episode specifically, because we're like really highlighting the same activity on both sides and presenting it differently. We even have Baku's sister, come in to tell Baku like, hey, Zero is trying to atone for his sins, right? Like, yes, by murdering a room full of people.
I guess
incapacitating
the ends justifying the means, blah blah blah. I guess we effectively cleaned up his mess. At least there wasn't like the weird shadow ash people splashed against the walls. It wasn't anything too dramatic. It was just, hey, look how magic I am, and just murder.
Turns out I'm the Flash. Baku's sister, also Baku's kind of having a bit of a crisis about sort of where to go next, with not being really a Code agent anymore, but he's still got his powers. He doesn't really know what to do. And his sister gives him a little bit of a pep talk, kind of says like, "Hey, you got your dream of becoming a secret agent. Like that dream came true, and now you have to decide like where you go next. Like what does your life lead? It's your choice. You get to decide." And then she's like, "I'm hungry," and she leaves.
It was funny, like when she walked out of the room, I feel like it was the first time they actually shot down the doorway or like
Yeah, it
slash
was
hallway
cool.
for the shot. And I was trying to look what was in there real quick, and they didn't show a bunch, but it did seem like a messy apartment. That's all I have.
As it should be. Yeah. We also get a quick little visit over to the ladies' room. Knox goes to visit the lady and finds that she is missing, but he does find the phantom nightmare. And the nightmare tells him that the lady's gone, and she tells him that the barrier between the real world and the dream world is now gone. And she asks him where he's going to live, which realm he's going to live in.
Because the house definitely looked different, or at least in my brain, it looked different than what I feel like we're used to seeing. But
Yeah, it's certainly missing one big character who used to be in it.
I thought it was funny that like the whole crux of, hey, the barrier is gone. It's all well and good. You know, we kind of saw the lady putting up her last resolve last week, but I thought it was funny that that the Phantom was like, the barrier is gone. Wink, wink. I got her, and the window was still like solid and put together.
Yeah.
Because of anything, I would have thought like she could at least like crack the, she meaning the makers of the show could have at least like cracked the window or something to show some sort of like metaphor for, hey, the veil is lifted or broken or whatever, and not
Yeah.
just like, hey, you know, we're I got in here, okay, see you later, and just kind of phases back out.
Yeah, 100% agree. Like the Phantom had been in and out of the room anyway. Um so that yeah, they should have symbolically opened that window 100%. The fact that it wasn't did kind of like diminish their storytelling here a little bit. Um After Baku gets patched up from getting shot, the of course the nightmare, the guy goes full nightmare, and Baku tracks down the Punish Nightmare. So after they arrest the former Nightmare, who turns back human, Baku tracks down where the Punish Nightmare is, and Nox shows up as well, and we get our very first ever Toby dual henshin between our primary and secondary writer.
That
Episode
was,
40 is the first time this has happened.
I thought it was cool because with all their team up things, whatever, I feel like all the other times for Kamen Riders shows, I feel like when people henshin together, they never really overlap as much as they put the two of them overlapping today with almost all their things. And I don't know why it stood out extra to me, or maybe just because it seems so flashy and hype and cool. But I thought they did an awesome job with all of the dual Nox, Baku, like we're henshining together. We have two voices screaming Zeztz and Nox over and over at the same time. They did a dual finisher, which I thought was cool. Like they both did their
Yep.
finishers at the same time. They did just overall did an amazing job with all of the two of them actually being a team and a partnership and together now kind of thing.
Yeah, completely agreed. It's also very helpful that they're both in their like powered up forms now. Like it's Extreme and Midnight Shadow. So like we aren't just even in the base forms working together. Now it's like we got our super special versions that are henching together at the same time. Um, yeah, I feel like it was a very good payoff for the slow burn that has been Nox's story to like finally 40 episodes in have them 100% be on the same side working together was very cool to finally see it.
Yep.
We normally get that really early on and it becomes kind of like a thing you see over and over and over again. So it was cool that they held that out long enough that it feels very, very impactful here. Very cool fight. The Punish Nightmare ends up like sucking them into her or its like torture realm essentially, which they
it,
fight
look,
out of.
it looked like, if you think about the room that Sieg used to chill in with the chains and the jail cells and everything,
Yeah.
if that had like a basement to it or like a mirror reflection of what would be underneath it, I feel like that's what that area looked like.
Yeah. And we've actually seen Sieg in that exact area before because in his origin story with the Punish Nightmare, he goes into that weird stabby case thing that they have, and then like he comes out basically having merged with the Phantom Nightmare at that point. So like we've even seen him in that exact location before, which is interesting. Um, However, after our big fight, our heroes win, but it doesn't last for very long because as they're getting the little debrief on the lady, they realize that the Punished Nightmare is revived. The moon spins around. They see the Punished Nightmare up in the air, and they're like, "Uh oh, this is not good." So they know it's still Code Somnia at play, and then we get our ending scene, which I think is a really important one to talk about here. So we get to see one of the baby nightmares that we've seen before, and the baby nightmares, of course, have like terrorized Nem before and all the stuff, and they've multiplied and had tons of them, but we just see one of them, and it is playing with the Code Somnia capsum, just spinning it randomly for fun. And as we kind of focus on the baby nightmare, it like consumes the capsum, basically eats it. And then Phantom walks up and says, "Come along now, let's make our own world." And the baby nightmare transforms into a much scarier nightmare, which the internet tells me is named Oblivion Gore.
So without knowing that name, I was gonna say at this point, 2 seconds after what you're talking about, we get what I only can think of as like the Four Horsemen will be our final boss set for Zeztz. So having that insane name kind of checks out with my head canon of they are the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, I think making you think the Four Horsemen is 1,000% intended here, because yeah, we get to see Phantom and Oblivion Gore now are joined up with. So at the end, we get to see the four, like you said, and it is Catastrophe Gore, Punish Gore, Oblivion Gore, and Phantom. I'm assuming I think Phantom Gore probably as well. So they're the four Gore nightmares, essentially the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and they're all sitting on these like insane looking thrones that have like this kind of weird Salvador Dali depictions of themselves kind of hanging above the thrones, and they're in this realm that looks like it's in outer space. Basically, it looks like somewhere like Thanos would hang out, basically.
Yeah.
um and yeah, I think you're exactly right. Like, they, because of the conjoined dream world, they essentially have the power of gods now and are going to take over everyone's dream realm. So yeah, I think our big bads to finish out the show are the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So how do you feel about that? Is that where you thought things would go? Is that where you like the direction to have gone?
I think
What do
that's
you think?
fine. I think at the point where we ran out of things to do for the last 2 months here, and with our conversation last week of I feel like we burnt out on all the options of what the final boss will be, minus like the lady's problems. I I guess it works. We've our one of our statements was as long as they do it far into the beginning of the end. So like episode 40 versus like episode 48 of like, hey, by the way, we've never talked about these people, but they are the new super evil. I'm glad we're doing it now. We're at this point we have enough time to give them all character and stories. And even if like every other week another one is dying because that's as powerful and whatever else, that's still enough buffer to get us towards the end of the show to straighten this back out. So I think this is probably the best time where they could start the random things we never knew about, to also start the fact that I guess Somnia is a gift from God for the Four Horsemen to turn into monsters with, or I'm not sure how the Somnia thing warped back to the baby Phantom to turn into an Apocalypse Rider, but I guess
Yeah,
I'll let that
yeah.
go.
Yeah, I think that's still the big question mark of like, well, we didn't really get our answer on who was responsible for that capsum going missing. Because like, I think clearly the baby nightmare didn't take it. I think just like either found it or was given it would be probably a fair guess. And the whole episode they keep hinting at like, well, whoever's responsible is someone who wanted the nightmares to get stronger. Like they keep saying that. So I feel like they haven't answered that question yet. So I think we'll still get that answer. Um, but I mean, I don't know. I appreciate that with these gore nightmares, it's not just like, hey, we're presenting 4 new big bads here for the very first time. Like we've seen these all before. Like we know the history of the Punish gore. Oblivion, like we literally just saw the origin, right? We know about the baby nightmare and we saw it get created right here. Phantom has been around now for how many episodes? Like antagonizing the lady. So like we sort of have a little bit of a backstory there. And then Catastrophe Nightmare, we haven't seen for a long time. I think like episode 23 or so. But like we've seen them before too. So at least it's all like it's powered up versions of nightmares that we've been seeing throughout the series instead of out of nowhere he was a brand new villain.
It's on brand for the way the show has worked.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that it makes sense that it's like I don't know. When I first watched this, my very initial thought was like, maybe this is too far. Like maybe like getting into like they've been around since the creation of man, and now we're like hanging out in the cosmic verse to take over the entire world's dreams. Maybe that's too far for me. And then the more I thought about it, was like, no, that's probably like the natural conclusion of what's been happening so far. Like, um, and the thing I really like about it, and in thinking about it more, the thing that has like I've latched onto is they've been doing this conjoined dream story for a long time. And I had originally, we talked about it on the show, I originally thought like, well, it just makes the storytelling a lot easier, right? Everyone gets to experience the same things now. We don't have to catch everyone up who wasn't in the dream world. But I like that now that's not just an ease of storytelling device. It actually is like the thing that is driving us to the finish, right? The nightmares are stronger because of the conjoined dream world. And then now that's a thing we have to solve, and that kind of paints our way to the end. So it retroactively makes me appreciate that more as a storytelling beat than I did before.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, in the midst of all of this, Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse business, we get to see Nem in the command closet basically having a heart attack. Like, she kind of collapses, clutching at her chest, having a hard time breathing. And Sieg is like, "Oh, is it starting?" And he gets very excited.
He thinks it's the funniest goddamn thing ever.
Yeah, yeah. I love that he's still kind of a bad guy. Like, he maybe doesn't have the like I'm gonna murder everyone drive that he did before, but he's just as like reprehensible as he was before.
Yeah, he's still chaos as a thing.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. It would have been so lame if he was like, "No, I'm totally on your guys' side now. Let's go."
He could have saved them. He could have saved Dr. Nem and everything would have been okay. But instead, this is what happens.
Yeah, Nem's gonna die, and then someone's gonna get shot again, and we're not gonna be able to patch him up.
Oh no.
Nem's dead. Yep. So yeah, I think this episode very, very clearly sets the stage for the ending here. Like, it introduces our final enemies, our final problem that we're dealing with. Baku and Nox are teaming up on the same page. Like everything's coming together.
Just in time for Nem to die from the heart attack.
Yep, exactly. We got 10 more episodes, plenty of time for stuff to happen in 10 episodes. That is still a pretty good chunk, even though we are pretty close to the end.
But in case anyone got nervous, 10 seconds instead of 10 episodes into next week, Nem's heart attack will stop and she'll be okay. So yeah, I don't want to get too stressed out. I'm sure this will work out very quickly, and then she will be okay.
It's going to be like the opening scene next week. She's going to sit up and be like, whew, that was rough.
It's going to be that where Baku's going to go back immediately, or Minami is going to go back immediately, and they're going to help her. So don't sweat, adults, children, whoever listens to this podcast. Everyone's favorite dream girl, Nem, will be okay.
Exactly. Toby, let's jump over to the emails. We got a couple emails this week. Our first email comes in from our friend Shade. Shade sent his email, Toby, to cast@commonwritersucks.com, which is the email address.
That's a good email address.
Thank you. I also really like it. Once again, that's cast@commonwritersucks.com. You can send emails there too if you want to be cool like Shade. Shade says, hello, everyone, and welcome to case number 40 of Zeztz. We finally hit the big 4-0, only 10 more episodes to go. And Shade dives us into the case file for this episode. Shade says that now that the Punish Core Nightmare has left Sieg, he's just depressed, but he's still not a good guy. He made that very clear. Thankfully, though, Sieg has been very helpful by providing the audience all the exposition. Turns out, ever since 3 connected everyone's dream world, the Nightmare's influence has grown stronger. They're no longer limited by a single person's subconscious and are now capable of wreaking havoc on humanity's collective subconscious. Sieg also tells us the origin of the Gore Nightmares. Turns out they're all basically a bunch of primordial nightmares who have lived ever since the beginning of humanity. Holy shit, they really doomed humanity. In his quest for power and control, he coincidentally created the perfect conditions for these nightmares to potentially destroy humanity. Even in death, 3 is still screwing the heroes over somehow. Meanwhile, Zero's back to Code to purge the organization of corrupt executives. That proves to be difficult because they're all corrupt.
I mean, I think it was pretty simple from watching what I saw. I think it seemed pretty easy for him to clean house, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, he used one capsum and basically clean sweep. it is 12 people, right? I was recounting the people he took out.
Oh, like it looked like 6 and 6 on both sides. I wasn't actually sure, so I keep saying 12. I don't know if that's right or not, but it looked like 12
it's 11 or 12 from what I can see in the image here.
So with him, they're an organization of 13. So this show, like many shows, is very much like Kingdom Hearts, just for the record.
Yeah, I guess
yeah.
so.
Don't worry, it checks out. It's all good.
the math checks out, guys. Shade says, I like how the show and Baku address one of my favorite things about Kamen Rider. What the hell are they going to do once all of this is over? Baku started the show dreaming of becoming an invincible secret agent. Ever since then, he's faced off against so much darkness, evil, his own failures, and he's overcome all of them. By all means, he is an invincible secret agent now. But after that, the world will still need a hero to make it a better place, and I like that Baku got to reframe his dream of becoming an agent to becoming an agent in this scene. Of becoming an agent to being an agent, in this scene.
Yeah, I mean, like, I for weeks and weeks now, our guess for the end game of the show is Baku just runs Code his way, whether it was called Code or not. And at this point, with no Code left, and his dad as a question mark on surviving the last of the show, I'm absolutely assuming that Secret Agent Baku and whatever his hype cast of problem solvers will be at the end of this is absolutely going to be the ending, because there's really no other way for this to end at this point.
We shall see. Shade goes on to say, in older Kamen Rider shows, there's a theme about how the fight against evil is an eternal battle. There's not a single Showa Kamen Rider series that ends with the main character having any happily ever after moment. Every time the show would end with the protagonist renewing his resolve to fight another day, and it's really cool how Zeztz is following this tradition. Alas, that new resolve will not make you bulletproof. Shade says, at this point, Baku should just get a bulletproof vest. He's gotten shot so many times now. Which, 100% true. Shade says, jokes aside, the scene does a good job of showcasing the fact that Baku's kindness is his greatest strength and weakness at the same time. We all know there were a billion different things Baku could have done to stop that guy immediately, but he wanted to talk the guy down instead. And then this leads us to what we've all been waiting for, which is the first time the double henshin between our two main riders. Shade says the fight was awesome. They both have been fighting on their own for so long, so now they're fighting together. They genuinely feel unbeatable. Honestly, it's no surprise that they both can handle the Punish Nightmare. Both Baku and Nox have defeated Sieg before, so Punish can't be that tough. Also, although the battle doesn't end there, and then, shares the picture of the Punish, Catastrophe, Oblivion, and Phantom Gore Nightmares. Shade says, not gonna lie, this was a hell of an introduction to the 4 Gore Nightmares. The idea that they're all ancient, primordial nightmares who have existed since the dawn of humanity is pretty metal. But what's even cooler is that Zeztz is totally gonna fight Catastrophe, and it's going to be awesome. The return of Catastrophe is pretty cool. Shade says, now it's time for the news and tidbits because we have some big news. I was hoping that Shade would write in about this so we could talk about it, Toby. Toei has just revealed Project Red's second entry the series that will follow Super Space Gavon Infinity, Super Space Sheriff Gavon Infinity, which is uh, Kakusei Hunter Omega Horn, which translates to Awakening Hunter Omega Horn. You heard that right. Gavon Infinity will be ending its run quite early, 23 episodes, and Omega Horn will be taking its place very soon. I know what you're thinking. Aren't these shows supposed to go for like 50 episodes? Why are they ending it off early? Well, I'm not exactly sure either, but what I can confidently say is that this won't be the last time we'll see Gavon Infinity. Ever since the beginning, Toei has been making it very clear that they wanted Project Red shows to be more connected to each other, to explore what they can do with a continuous story instead of resetting every year like with Rider and Sentai. And I can kind of see that vision in Omega Horn's concepts and designs. That said, let's check out some of them, shall we? So we get our first look at the show's protagonist, which is named Captain Omega Horn. He uses his megaphone, the Omega Horn, and he is able to command creatures called Kakuju, giant beasts.
Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean they're like mean-looking Pokemon. Yeah.
The show, from everything that we saw, we talked about in the Discord earlier, blah blah blah. Like, the show is so Pokemon, Digimon, Monster Hunter coded, like a very solid mix of all three, that I'm excited for it. I have this weird gut feeling that it's going to be like more kiddie than this season, but I'm not sure yet. I don't know why, but it just feels like if we're doing collecting monsters and throwing them out to battle kind of things, I feel like that takes the level down a little bit of how intense it gets, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell with these shows. Like, I feel like oftentimes the initial trailer and images and stuff that we see is very different than the resulting tone of the actual show. Like Zeztz is maybe the most accurate recently, because they put out like a very, dark, brooding tone piece when that was first coming out, and I think a lot of the show has become, fairly dark. Like, it's certainly much darker than like Gotchard, for example. But yeah, I mean, like, I feel like there's so much we don't know going in, but the design of the main character is something that makes me think maybe it's going to be a little goofier, because he's in a very like Ash Ketchum outfit ish. Like, I don't mind the look of the outfit at all. I actually kind of like it, but it is not at all Gavon. It is not like the cool, sleek, metal robot looking dude. It's more akin to like plucky, plucky explorer looking to catch some monsters.
I thought it was fun today too that we realized that the toys from Gavon season will also smash together with the Monster Horn season, what the hell you just said it was called.
Yes,
So I think
indeed.
so genuinely, I think it's awesome that they've leaned far enough into the this is all the same thing idea, that we're making new toys to add to the old toys and not just making a whole nother like set of standalone things. But I
Yep.
do think it's weird and goofy that the emo gears are being carried over, because they're such, like, to me, a shitty dumb collectible figure thing to use. So, like, I'm glad we're getting new things to interact with the old things, but showing that, like, someone posted the pictures today of the toys fitting together between both seasons, and I genuinely think that's awesome as a kid who had to like do that in his imagination growing up with all my toys.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this in the Discord, but like mixing and matching action figures, like I'm going to make my Turtles play with my X-Men or whatever it might be, was like the most fun. Like, doing a crossover episode in your playing as a kid is like, I loved that so much. So like, picturing, like, if I'm a kid right now and I've been really getting into Gavon, I've bought a couple of the toys, and now I'm finding out that like in a few weeks my toys have a whole new life because they can attach to these other monsters that are coming out now. That's crazy. Like, that is really like mind-blowing stuff, I think, on a kid toy level. So yeah, I think that is very, very cool. I agree. Um, Shade actually writes in and talk about the updated emo gears a little bit. So I'll read what Shade has to say about those, and then we can talk more about them. Shade says what's really interesting is that Omega Horn also uses basically emo gears, but they're not exactly the emo gears from Gavon Infinity. They're called Igor gears, and they low key kind of look cooler than the Emor gears. So far, I'm really digging Omega Horn's designs. Captain Omega Horn himself looks similar to Gavan and also looks extremely inspired by Red from Pokemon. So yeah, the Emor gears, Igor gears, whatever, are essentially the exact same device, which is in concept for me, I think very smart and very interesting. I just think that the particular device that they're carrying across is not the coolest gimmick item they've ever had, for sure. I agree with you there. Um, but if really all it is like a connection point for the new toys, like if they want to keep that going, like they can really like subtly remodel the gimmick and still have it function, which is kind of what they've done here. So the new guys look a little bit meaner, are a little bit more fierce looking. So maybe they can kind of subtly change them over time if this is what we're locking in on.
Yeah, I mean, either way, they can keep releasing more DLC for Gavan like this, and I think it'll all work out. It's fine.
Yeah. Shade says the whole thing is very inspired by Pokemon and also Monster Hunter 2 with the monster designs and such. And then, as we said, Bandai have confirmed that the toy line will be compatible with Gavan Infinity's toy line, so chances of Gavan Infinity appearing in Omega Horn is pretty high. The show's concept of controlling kaiju to do battle sounds super fun. I've been expecting Project Red to do something more with tokusatsu other than Henshin heroes, and this was exactly what I asked for. Funnily enough, this isn't the first tokusatsu series about kaiju Pokemon battles. The people who did Ultraman have already done a series like this before with Mega Monster Battle. It had 2 seasons, but they kind of abandoned the series during the 2010s, so I guess Toei wanted to make their own version, lol. By the way, highly suggest checking out the series if you want to see kaiju beating the shit out of each other. That's like 80% of the entire show. So what do you guys think about the Omega Horn news? Does it look good? Do you like kaiju stuff? And are you ready to move on from Gavan Infinity? I'd say yes to all 3, but I'm not going to lie. Gavan Infinity is growing on me a lot. At least we'll still see Reggie in the future, so that's nice. Yeah, go ahead.
I know. I think I basically gave all my standard facts on it already, so I at least answered my half of that question. But I did realize that I feel like we on watching on the patreon.com/the comment riders and with us watching Gavan, I guess we started late enough where I feel like the new show is going to start way before we start watching it, and it's kind of throwing me.
Yeah. We definitely are behind on Gavan for sure by a number of weeks. Because let's see, yeah, I was gonna look at what they're on now, but it's not worth it. We are a little bit behind, but in terms of like Gavan ending, it is kind of sad. It's only like I don't know, like we'll see how it wraps up. I've really been enjoying our time with Gavan Infinity. The
It's
show is
just a
very
TV
fun.
show now, Josh. It's okay. It can be
Yeah,
20,
yeah.
It can be 24 episodes. There's no
Which
reason
is
to be sad.
kind of where I was going, right? Like
it's a season.
yeah. Like we got a season, we had some good time with it, but it's not a year-long life commitment. It's probably okay. But I'm not ready for it to end necessarily, even though like I'm excited about the new thing, and I do conceptually think 23 episodes is a perfectly fine number of episodes to tell a story. I certainly have liked it enough and would be happy to see more of those characters in future Project Red shows, I think. I had one more thought about this, but I forgot. Oh, kaiju stuff. Yeah, I do really like kaiju stuff, like Godzilla and anything giant monster related is pretty fun. I feel like that is the really kind of in some ways the purest tokusatsu stuff. Like it goes back to the origins, and giant rubber monster suit when done well is just perfect. Just better than any CG you could imagine. It's really fun to watch and really fun to see, and yeah, I really like well done kaiju battles in shows like this. All right, so thanks very much for the email, Shade, and we have another email, Toby. This one comes in from Adebayo. Adebayo's got some questions for us. First, he says, "Hello, Toby and Josh. How's it going? I hope you guys are having a fun summer so far and haven't gotten any sunburns yet. Have you gotten any sunburns yet, Toby?"
I roasted over the weekend where my entire back itches like crazy right now. So
Ooh.
I'm locked into the back end of one. And it's really because I was on either, I don't remember which thing did it, but I was on antibiotics and steroids for my third cold in 2 months I told you all about. And the
Yep.
doctor said, don't go out in the sun. And I said, sure. And then I was like, well, it's nice out. I need things I have to do. So I basically said, the hell with the rules and just basically toasted myself nicely.
And you paid for it. Yep.
Yeah.
I really hate putting on suntan lotion, one of my least favorite activities. And so of course now I'm a father and I have to do it not only on myself but on my daughter as well. So I have extra suntan lotioning to do now than I used to. Um, but specifically, like my hair is fairly short, so if I am outside without a hat on for too long, I will sunburn my scalp. Right, like it gets through the hair layer and burns the crap out of my head. So when we go to the pool, obviously I'm not wearing a hat in the pool, so I got to figure out sunscreen for the hair, or I got to like just roll with it and hope I don't burn. You know, we're done in time, whatever. So this weekend, life changing, Toby. I got myself a waterproof, like water wicking, like really fast dry hat that I could wear in the pool,
There you go.
and I've solved all my problems here. Yeah. So I've avoided sunburns thus far, and I will continue to avoid sunburns if at all possible with my new hat tech.
That a guy.
Adebayo goes on and says, question number 1, what Kamen Rider seasons would you recommend to newcomers to the franchise? So,
X-Aid.
of what you've seen, you think X-Aid's the number 1 with a bullet?
I think that's the most fun, unless you want to watch the spooky one, and that's when you watch Black Sun.
I think that X-Aid's really high on the list. And maybe it's my number 1. I haven't thought deeply enough about this, but the first one that came to mind is the first one that you and I started with, which is Geats. And I think Geats is a great one because it's a bit more serious, so you're not having to like swallow the ultra ridiculous stuff that can come up in Kamen Rider. Like you don't have to get accustomed to that right off the bat, right? You get a little bit more of a serious story at first, and then you can kind of ease into the jokey weird stuff. I think Geats has a pretty good plot throughout. I think it has very good characters, and I think it's one that like people are familiar with like the battle royale as a concept. So I think that is a good like easing you to Kamen Rider. We've talked about it before though. Like we're on a pretty generational run of seasons so far. Like we've really had since we started this show very good seasons of Kamen Rider. So I think anything
Yes.
that we've watched would honestly be okay as a starting point. But yeah, X-Aid, if you're looking at stuff kind of from before we started the podcast, X-Aid is probably the easy recommend of the shows that I've seen too. Question number 2: if you had the power to pick and choose the prices of micro SD, excuse me, if you had the power to pick and choose the prices of micro SD cards, how much would you make them? Because I'm pretty sure we've all had the thought of how could something so small be this expensive?
How much are they at the moment?
I feel like micro SD cards are very similar, or like it's all like storage and stuff. They're very similar to TVs, where TVs increase in price linearly as the size gets larger until you get to the largest sizes, and then they go up like exponentially. So like when you get up into the like 1 terabyte card, 2 terabyte cards, those are insane. But then you get to the lower prices and they're like much more reasonable, right? Like and for example, like a 64 gig is probably about twice as much as a 32 gig.
So 256 gig ultra write speed, which I know there's like 7 different write speeds for them, are 53, not counting Prime deal days, and then 512 is 106. So it's basically like 50 cents a gigabyte.
That's so much higher than it used to be too.
Wait,
With all the crazy computer stuff
I
that's
think so.
going on
Yeah.
right now. Yeah, that's very high.
I don't know. Like I feel like they've always been the same price. Looking at them now, I feel like with the last time I had to buy one years and years and years ago for like a digital camera, this feels like the same price I was paying then. So I'm gonna take no answer and say I think they're priced accordingly because I don't really notice the difference over the past 15, 20 years.
It is crazy when you spend like $100 on something that's the size of your pinky nail. Like that is a weird thing when you start thinking about it. Like, oh my god, I could lose this instantly without any effort, and just be out $100 here.
Yeah, and even like the biggest cases for them were like when they used to sell like Listerine pocket strips, and it was like a 1x1 hard plastic case that's super thin. So
Yeah.
yeah, they are very losable, and it is kind of crazy that like I feel like when I bought my Canon camera, it was like $500, and I got like $100 worth of SD cards to be able to take photos with it. And
Yep.
it seems wild. You need like 20% of your actual purchase price again to even remotely use the thing that you want to use those cards for.
Yeah, totally. The Switch 2 is crazy because it uses a micro SD express card, which might sound like it's just like any old micro SD, but it's actually a specific like sub version of micro SD, and they're insanely expensive. So like Nintendo, actually, I guess they're cheaper than they used to be. But they're at least like twice what an equivalent micro SD of the same size would be. At least last I looked. So I've never bought an SD card for my Switch 2 because it's like I'm not gonna spend that much money on this dumb thing that I can get in any other format for like half the cost. It does appear they've come down a little bit since I've looked last time, but they're still just ridiculous, just ridiculous. Yeah, $200 for a 512 gig card.
For a system that's about the same price.
What's it's like for 400, I think, for the Switch 2. So like essentially, yeah, half the price of the system.
Yeah.
Good chunk of price of the system. Yeah, I tend to like I'll buy a moderately sized micro SD card to dedicate to a new device. Like like when I get a new device that requires a card, I'll buy a card for it, and then it just lives there forever, and I never take it out. That's usually my approach. And usually it comes down to like how much more I want to spend on the thing. So it's like if the device is fairly cheap, maybe I'll splurge and get a slightly bigger card, or maybe not. Okay, but I always end up having to live with my decision. Adebayo goes on and tells us that last week Famitsu magazine did a survey for the top 10 most popular video game characters for 2026. If you don't know, Famitsu is the like really long running Japanese game magazine. So tons and tons and tons of history of reviews and stuff coming from this magazine. But they polled people, and here are Famitsu readers' top 10 video game characters. Starting with number 10, Joker from Persona 5.
I was gonna say, how the fuck did Batman make it into this? But Joker makes sense.
Yeah, Joker from Persona 5. The Persona series, of course, incredibly popular even here. So yeah, I get it. The iconic guy from the most recent game makes a lot of sense. Number 9, Kiryu from Like a Dragon.
Sure, I guess that's I guess that's the name I have to accept of the game series now. Sure.
From the Yakuza games, I'll say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't realize that he would have been that popular to make it to top 10. Like, I guess he's pretty new in people's minds too.
I mean, no, that's the OG one. Like, he's still in every story, even since he got cancer and almost died and everything. Like, Kiryu has never not been in the games, even when the games are about Ichiban now.
But I mean, like, games are still coming out, is what I was trying to say for the series. Like we still get Like a Dragon games, where like there are a couple others on this list where it's like, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. Like, I mean, I guess they're still making those too, right? They just remade them. Never mind. Yeah. I take it all back. The next one, number 8, is the lowly slime from Dragon Quest.
I feel like I'm shocked she, they, whoever. I'm shocked I'm shocked it is not like number 1, considering how much merch and marketing goes into using the slime still in 2026. Yeah.
It is wild. Like, Dragon Quest is huge in Japan, and you always hear stories about, like kids skipping school to wait in line to pick up the new Dragon Quest and stuff like that.
I think McDonald's Japan had a Dragon Quest slime themed meal in the last 12 months.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me at all. Yeah. And the slime is it is the Pikachu of Dragon Quest. Like, it is the thing you see. So yeah, I am kind of shocked it's higher. And speaking of Pikachu, number 7 is Pikachu from Pokemon.
That seems eternal. I'm sure he's
Yeah,
always up there somewhere.
yeah. I maybe would have even thought a little bit higher, but yeah, it definitely deserves to be on the list. Number 6, Leon from Resident Evil.
He's everyone's favorite hot unk. That one checks out.
Is he in like most of the games? I don't really know anything about Resident Evil, really.
He is in 2, 4, 6, and 9, I
Oh,
think.
interesting. Okay.
And then Chris
So,
is in like some of the other overlapping ones. And then Ethan was the first person hero in 7 and 8. But like last year, I think it was last year's big video game project, I played all of the Resident Evil mainline games in a row. And I was absolutely shocked how there is a cohesive story between all 9 games, even when it seems tenuous sometimes. It is actually like one huge overarching story. So
oh,
like Leon, Chris, Jill really like rotate in and out a lot of different games at different times for different roles. But he's like
huh.
Leon's definitely been around almost forever.
Yeah, I guess I always kind of pictured that it would be more like, yeah, technically it's all happening in the same world, but like it kind of doesn't matter. But that's interesting. I didn't realize they
But
were
yeah,
that.
oh yeah, they all absolutely like overlap with each other.
Huh.
And because Leon was in the newest game that I can't think of the name of, but like Leon is the main male star of Resident Evil 9, which is like last year's into this year's still current Resident Evil game.
Okay.
So that doesn't surprise me that he would be on the top 10. But
Yeah,
he's
that makes
he's
perfect
also a
sense.
hot unk now, to use the words the kids use. So everyone's all
Kids,
like all hyped up about him.
I love it. Number 5 is Link, and number 4 is Kirby. So a couple of Nintendo stalwarts next on the list.
I feel like Kirby's another Eternal will always be everyone's favorite goofy little thing because they turn him into whatever they want to for marketing when necessary.
Yeah. I'm a big Nintendo person in general, but Kirby has always been a standout for me. Like Mario's fine. I like Mario just fine. His games are amazing, but like I don't have the affinity for Mario that I do for Kirby. Like Kirby himself, I have a very big fondness for. Number 3 is Tifa, and again, paired with that, number 2 is Cloud. So Final Fantasy VII still living strong in Japan's psyche here.
Again, new games constantly coming out with those two. So I guess that still checks out. So that's fine.
Yeah, they're doing the big remake trilogy that I think people are loving. I've heard only good things about those.
Same.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And number 1, Toby mentioned him a second ago. Mario makes it to the top of the list.
I feel like it's not Kotaku. What's the name of the magazine?
Famitsu.
Thank you. I feel like that is Japan's Nintendo Power when it used to be like when we used to have Nintendo Power specifically.
Yeah.
I feel like Famitsu was Japan's Nintendo Power. So Famitsu having Mario as their number 1 video game guy checks out to me in the corporate seedy underbelly of I would be shocked if that was not the case.
Yeah, I guess really I'm just finding out that like Japan's a bunch of normies over there apparently. Just all liking Mario the best. That's like saying what's your favorite ice cream, vanilla. It might be true, but it makes you boring, you know? Like
He's the
pick
face that
someone
lost
interesting.
a billion ships.
He's just like, I don't know, like Mario's fine. I just don't I don't like I've grown up with him. Like he's very iconic, but like he's your favorite? There's no one else? Mario's the one? I don't know.
As of 2025 going into 2026, they have sold almost 1 billion units of Mario related video games over the years.
Yeah, I mean he's just permeated in
He has
pop culture.
movies. Yeah, he has movies. He has all the good shit.
Yeah. I've heard discussions about this before. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Who do you think is more famous the world over, Mario or Mickey Mouse?
I feel like there's a actual answer to this, and I feel like it's Mickey. I feel like there was some test, survey, study, whatever, and I feel like there's a specific answer to this question.
Like someone has done the research.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to
That's
find out
probably
while
true.
we're.
Yeah, I'm looking at Google Trends to compare. Um, Mario versus Mickey Mouse. In the United States for the past year, Mario mogs Mickey Mouse. Let me look at the world.
I feel like every like 10 years the survey comes back up.
I'm gonna look at the let's see, the past 5 years. Yeah, at least on Google Trends, Mario versus Mickey is not even a competition. Mario is winning like crazy.
Crazy.
Let me try just Mickey. Mario versus Mickey. Let's see how that goes.
If we're doing Google Trends, you have to specifically pick the option that says like Mario character and Mickey Mouse character. You can't just do the term.
Oh, okay. Let me do it that way then. All right, we're doing some live edits here.
Theater of the mind. Everyone pretend you're going to Google Trends right now and picking these things.
Mario video game character and Mickey Mouse. Is it just Mickey? Mickey Mouse character. There we go. Oh yeah, that changed things dramatically here. Okay,
yeah,
so Mickey Mouse again. This is the opposite now. Mickey Mouse mogs Mario worldwide. We're talking like, what are these in? 80 million, 80. What are these numbers?
I never understood how Google Trends, the numbers themselves work. I just look at the graphs and just say like, okay, this line's higher than the other one.
Yeah. So basically, Mickey is hovering around the 80 line. Definitely big highs and lows, but roughly around 80. Mario is around 20 the whole time. So
there you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We don't have a Mickey level star quite yet in Mario.
I will say I don't know why Google. I guess I vaguely understand why, but I don't understand why. Like if I'm doing the Google Trends thing, when I look it up for other stuff, why Mario as a search term does not actually encapsulate Mario, the thing I'm trying like that I'm looking up. Like Mario generic search term is not Mario video game character. And I find that a weird delineation about how Google's API or analytics pulls that. But yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, very, very strange. Let's see who's more popular in the past 4 hours. Still Mickey. Yeah, that's crazy. I want like to look at it on the day of a like Nintendo Direct and see if Mario can win on that one day.
When was the last one? Like a week ago?
Yeah, I guess I can look. Let me look in the past week.
I feel like just like the last month, and then look if there's a spike like 2 weeks ago.
Not even a spike. Mario didn't change one little bit. That's insane.
That's because they announced Kingdom Hearts. Of course, it's not gonna. Of course, no one's looking for Mario that day.
That's
crazy.
That's true. Crazy. All right. Well, I'm going to turn off Google Trends now because we could just search for random things for the rest of the episode here. But I will stop doing that. Let's see. Back to emails. Adebayo, thanks very much for the email. Very exciting going through the Famitsu list there. So thanks for sending that along. Once again, cast@commonwritersucks.com is the email address. If you want to send in an email, it'll most likely get read on the show.
I want everyone to know real quick, on June 8th, 2026, I'll assume that's Nintendo Direct Day, Kingdom Hearts overtook Super Mario as a video game series in Google Trends. So that's absolutely like a big win for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. On that day. As Toby mentioned earlier, also we have a Patreon, patreon.com/thecommentwriters is where you can find that. $3 a month gets you full access to the Patreon, and you get to watch all the bonus content that we have posted and will post. Usually that's in the form of us watching tokusatsu shows. We put a couple out a week, and you can watch along with us, hear our thoughts and jokes and confusion as we go through. It's quite fun. We also have a Discord where we talk about Kamen Rider news and tokusatsu news and whatever the heck else all week long. But if you don't want to shell out the $3 just yet, you can follow the Patreon for free. We do hope you do that because we post stuff for free on there. So everything, the first 3 episodes of every show that we've watched is up for free. And yeah, recently you can check out the first 3 episodes of our Gavan watch through, and you can check out the first 3 episodes of Live Man, which we have just now started. So do check that out. Even if you don't want to sign up, you can get a little bit more content from Toby and Josh. So once again, patreon.com/thecommentwriters.
Speaking of more content, in a battle of the comment writers podcast as a topic versus the Super Mario game series, it's looking kind of dire.
Yeah, we gotta
The
pop some
needle is
big
not
news.
moving.
We need to get like everyone we know to search for the comment writers at like an exact minute of one day. So then we can maybe like see the graph go up just slightly.
Us versus Mario is gonna be my new lifetime goal.
that's that's how you'll know we've really made it, is when you can actually see our line on the graph. Not that we've beaten Mario, just that our line is finally visible.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us to a close for this week. Toby, why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
On Twitter, it's Life of Tobes, and on YouTube, it's Tobes Plays.
You can find me over on Blue Sky. I am at meek.lol. And you can follow the show on Blue Sky at commonwritersucks.com. Of course, all the links that we've mentioned are in the description wherever you are listening or watching this show. So check that out. And we'll be back next time to see what these darn gore punish nightmares get up to. The four horsemen of the apocalypse. We hope you join us back for that. But in the meantime, we hope you have a great week, everybody. Peace.